Guys, welcome to my podcast. It's Filipe Dellinger here. I am the CEO of MCM Capital Real Estate Brokers. Today's topic is a very important topic because it's a topic I keep getting phone calls on every day. At least 10 or 20 people call me or LinkedIn or phones asking me what is going on with the world economy, how will that affect Dubai, and how will that affect my investments in the real estate market. So let's start a little bit by explaining what's going on around the world. As we know, 2 years of COVID created, let's say, a bottleneck. And what that bottleneck is, a lot of commodities stopped being produced, and most of the items that we use nowadays need some form of commodities, including food, which stopped being distributed. And this caused a shortage and an increase in price in food and raw materials. This, of course, has led to the prices of goods that we purchased in the supermarket, or goods like cars, telephones, many other electronic equipment which uses some form of minerals to increase in price. Sadly, we then had a war continuously going on between Russia and Ukraine. This had an effect on the oil prices. Oil prices shot up. OPEC did start to produce more, but still the concern was not just about oil, was about the gas supply to Europe. This created an increase in oil prices, and we all know that. We go now to the petrol station and we feel like the prices have doubled. This slows down the amount of times we use the car, which obviously has an effect on everything. We don't travel as much, we may not go out as much, we may start to do different things in our lives to cut down on our costs. Inflation. What is inflation? How does it affect us? And how does it affect the property price? Inflation is the price, in theory, that we pay for things that has increased on a monthly basis and on an annual basis. We've all noticed that this has spiraled. In some countries, inflation is as high as 10%, and I'm not talking about in African countries or certain countries which has currencies that are very flexible. We are talking about countries like the US, the UK, Europe, UAE. Whilst the UAE has managed to keep its inflation slightly lower than the rest, we must remember that the UAE is pegged to the dollar. What does that mean? To stop fluctuation of the dirham, they use a monetary policy that is very similar to the US, i.e., if the US raises interest rates, the UAE will raise interest rates. Now, as we know, what happens if interest rates go up? 3 things that I want to bring to your attention. Number 1, if you fixed your mortgage in, then you're okay until the mortgage becomes a variable mortgage rate. That means fix, whenever you did it a year or 2 years ago, that rate won't change. But if you took out what's called a variable rate, it means if rates go up, you're now paying more. The more dangerous side of this comes to personal loans and credit cards. These are dangerous because generally they're not fixed, they are variable, and they will increase. As we know, credit card interest rates are always pretty high to start with, so any movement in interest rates has an effect. And at the moment, interest rates have moved substantially fast and furious, up 0.75 basis points. We've seen this now 2 or 3 times. And so this is causing a lot of worry. The British pound, which is an important currency, but it is important for the UAE as well, because a lot of UAE locals especially, they have investments in London. They have properties, and they have seen the prices of their asset value in terms of pound value go down as the price of the pound versus the UAE has pretty much collapsed. Now, if you want to go and buy in the UK property right now for the first time, you're getting a great deal because your currency is obviously worth a lot more than it was a year ago. But on the other side of it, if you already own property and you need to sell it and bring it back, the money back to the UAE, you're going to take quite a big loss in the exchange rate. Now the question is, what's going to happen to the property market in the UAE and around the world? There is absolutely no doubt that the property market around the world will slow down and will reverse its course of the last few years. and we will start to see defaults on mortgages. But the UAE continuously has shown an increase in property prices. There are reasons for this. Number one, the UAE investor is pretty smart, and I've noticed this over the years. For one, people say to me, people are taking out more and more mortgages. Well, that's not a bad move. If you truly believe that interest rates are going to continue to go up and you take out a mortgage right now and you fix it, you're going to get a low interest rate compared to where it may be in a year's time. A lot of people started to do this 6 months ago as they saw rates beginning to climb. So it was a very good move to be made. Inflation is a very good, or buying property is a very good hedge for inflation. As for two reasons. One, you see the price of your house going up. But number two, you have the ability, if you're an investor and renting your property out, you can charge more to the tenants. So there are two good reasons there alone to buy property or to have bought property. Off-plan is something that we've seen a huge amount of increase in the UAE. Why? Another reason is payment terms. If the payment terms are 3 to 5 years and you're buying them now, if rates go up and inflation continues high, the value of your property may continue to increase. Now, me personally, the question I get asked, which is the question everybody, I guess, really wants to know is the property market in Dubai going to collapse? Should we stop buying? Should we stop investing? Well, let me tell you something, and I want to say this in the clearest form. I don't believe any market, any property market or equity market or bond market that continuously just rallies, and rallying means it just goes up and up and up. I don't believe that's good for any economy. A steady growth is what's good for the economy. Dubai has undertaken enormous measures to bring people to the UAE through the visa programs and through other programs that they've undertaken. The property market has increased, in my view, too fast. And I believe it will start to slow down next year. But I still believe Dubai has a unique opportunity to continue a growth in the property market. For one, I consider Dubai and the UAE a very modern, international country, and I believe it now compares to a lot of the big cities around the world. I still believe Dubai and the UAE in general is undervalued. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone should rush out and buy property in Dubai, but it does mean you need to keep an eye on a few different things. Number one, keep an eye on inflation. If inflation continues to increase, be careful. Make sure that you can afford the repayments if you have taken out a mortgage. Number two, if you haven't taken out a mortgage, look for the right developer to make sure you're buying an off-plan property that is worth it. Or if you're buying in a secondary market, location, location, location continues to be important, more so now in Dubai than it was 5-10 years ago, because we knew if we had bought something 10 years ago in downtown, in a couple of years there'd be something next door more modern, 5 years later there'd be something next door even more modern. As these areas are now being totally built up, we're going back to the old location, location, location. Very important, and if you're going to do it, make sure you are buying something that you can live in, or something that has a good ROI, return on investment, meaning you can easily rent it out. Off-plan buying, I'm just going to go back to that one a little bit again. Again, in my last pod, you know that I complained about flipping. I worry about it for many different reasons. And what are the flippers? They're people who buy off-plan and hope to sell it halfway through construction at a profit. Again, make sure you can afford to make all the payments in off-plan purchasing, because there may be a time that you can't actually sell it and you do not want to lose any money that you've already put in. Dubai property, my hope for the next year is that we will see a steady, slow increase in value. We will see a bigger inflow of people coming to live in Dubai for lots of different reasons, and I've explained to you before and I'll explain it again. The schooling system is getting better and better. For me, it's easily as good as international education. The medical system continues to improve. We have wonderful modern hospitals that me, Actually, I had a couple of operations last year. I was extraordinarily happy with the service I got. Fantastic medical services. Now, please, let's look at the government side of it. Hugely important, efficient, quick, adaptable. It is something that doesn't exist internationally. This country is modernizing itself on a daily basis. The vision for 2040 to increase the population of Dubai will happen. Keep buying, keep investing, be cautious, buy from the right developer, buy in the right location, but above all, look for reputable real estate agent like MCM, who has its own marketing team, who can really market your property and sell it for you. New legislation starting on the 1st of October means that landlords or sellers of property will no longer be allowed to market their property with more than 3 agents at any given time. This is a huge step in the property market. Whilst before people would say to any agent, yes, please list my property, which I've always complained about for many, many reasons, but the most important reason, if you are in the building block and you are the only one trying to sell your apartment and you have given it to 10 different agents who are now marketing 10 properties, a lot of them at different prices with different photos, it looks like there's 10 properties for sale when there's actually one. And that will cause the value of your property to actually go down because buyers believe there's a lot for sale, so they will not offer you the asking price. Look to work more exclusively with the agent. Highly recommend you visit your agent's office, sit with them, talk to them, see what they can offer in terms of marketing, look and talk to their agents. And if you're looking for a mortgage, companies like MCM has their own in-house mortgage specialist. Talk to them. They will find you the best rate and they will get it and guarantee they will be able to sort it out for you quickly and before purchasing. My name is Filipe Dellinger. I am the CEO, MCM Capital Real Estate Broker. We are here to help you make the best choice for your investment in real estate. For on-plan or off-plan purchases, please remember, you as a buyer do not pay commission. We get our commission from the developer. And why you should come to us is because we know all the tricks. We know the best apartments in the development and we can find you the best investment. Good luck with your property investments and please give us a call.